I built a gun rest that you can fire with a cell phone. And this is how I did it. In 3, 2, 1. Now I got all my pieces cut. I haven't welded nothing together yet. I think this is 20 inches long. This was 27 and a half. I designed this piece to hold the butt of the gun. I cut halfway through it with a grinder and then bent it. I'll probably back it up with a weld anyways, so it doesn't, just so it don't crack out. I built this little shelf that I'm gonna weld in here, so the butt of the gun doesn't set any lower than this. That way I'm able to still shoot my ARs in here. I'm gonna weld this little cheap jack up on top of here. You can get these at any junkyard. I mean, it comes out of late 90s cars, mid to late 90s, early 2000s. A ton of cars had them. And you just turn this deal, obviously a scissor jack, and it just raises up and lowers. And I put it on the left-hand side because I'm a right-handed shooter. And I'm going to weld a piece of angle iron on top of here to set the gun in. And I'll support it with these little 1-inch flats on each side. So it'll set up nice and true. The reason I designed this in a V, because I want the butt of the gun, which this is about the thickness of a butt of a gun. I want it to pinch in there so it holds the gun straight up and down, so I don't have a gun sitting sideways, because I want to be able to hold it straight up and down, and I want to be able to use a bungee to hold the gun down, because I want this to be able to fire without me being near it. I'm building this for another video for safety purposes. Got to do some little tests, and I don't want to hurt myself. So yeah, so this is the start of the build, and I'm going to weld this all together, and we'll go from there. I got it all welded up. I put some paint on the areas where I wanted to glue this spray foam, like a spray adhesive, this plastic down, so it doesn't scratch the gun. I did the same thing where the butt of the gun goes. I got it good and stuck on there. Put a little paint on it. I didn't paint this because I might still have some welding to do. I put a 3/32 cable through here to clamp a gun in there. So let's put this gun in here. Sit it nice and soft, get it pushed back good, back into here so the gun is straight up and down. Put the bungee on there so it holds it. Pretty good and solid. Nice and straight up and down. Now I'll be able to fire this gun, hopefully remotely, so I won't be in any danger. So yeah, it's gonna work out pretty good. Here's why I mounted that little shelf up higher. I was just gonna put it right on this, but I needed a little taller so I could get my AR in there, so the handle would still clear. And yeah, fits nicely. Here's my trigger linkage that I just got done building. Let me get this bungee out of the way. Now I put slides on it so I can use it for a lot of different guns. This comes out of here, obviously, so I can get it out. I made this little set screw here so I can loosen it, so it's adjustable for other guns. These will slide forward and back, but I'm gonna put a linear actuator on here is what I'm gonna use to go ahead and pull the trigger. That way, if I try crazy things, I don't have to be holding on to the gun, and I will be safe. And that is for the only purpose, obviously, is safety. But I'll have a linear actuator push on this. Should work good. Moving right along here. I wired together my relays. I got my 4G relay in the mail that I can control with my cell phone. I don't have a SIM card in it right now, so I'm just going to jumper it to kind of show you how it works. Got my linear actuator. Made a linkage to hook the linear actuator to the trigger mechanism. I've got my battery hooked up to my power, and I think I have got it off right now. I'm going to go through the wiring schematic. Okay, both 30s, they go out to my actuator. Right now I have it set so it's always out when it's powered up. Now when I switch these two relays, it will switch and it'll reverse the polarity. It'll make one, right now this one side's positive. Once it switches, this side will be positive, this side will be negative. And then 85 will run through my 4G relay, which right now I'm not having it run through there. I have it right here. And all it is tying the ground together, so I will just ground it to make the actuator work. So I'll turn my battery on. It's full out right now. I have power and ground going to it. As soon as I touch this, it will reverse the polarity, pull back on this, and fire the gun. The gun's not loaded. There's no bullets in there. It is cocked and ready to rock. So here we go. Oh man, not having a connection here. Kind of got this jerry-rigged because I got to get a connector. Make sure I got connection. As soon as I let off of it, it returns back to full open. Let's do that again. Just like that. As soon as I get my SIM card, I will get all this set up and hooked up, linked to my phone, so I can either call it or send it a text message, and it will do this. I got my SIM card. I got it installed right here. We're powered up. We have network. These are the relays. In this 4G relay, I can control individual with my cell phone. Number 1 relay, you can control with a phone call, but it's usually either an on or an off. I'm using relay number 2, so I can turn it on for a limited time. Basically, I'm going to turn it on for 2 seconds. I got my power on, obviously. Gun is still unloaded. I do have it cocked and ready to go. So I'm going to take my cell phone and I'm going to send a text to Kablammy, and that should receive the text and fire this gun, or well, cycle it anyways. I don't have these tight. I messed up. I was messing with this earlier and I didn't have those tight. So let's resend this text message. Forward to Kablammy. Send. Sometimes it takes just a little bit. Probably inside this garage don't help. But and there we go. So just like that. That's all there is to it. Alright, here it goes. I'm going to send a text message, and this is going to shoot that steel plate out there. I guess I better put it on fire. Okay, here it goes. Impact.